Hey there, good looking. I invite you to join me in this full body mobility and stretch session. Listen, this is the perfect little workout to do as a recovery workout, or you can do it after an existing workout, or do it in the morning to help wake up your low back as well as the other joints in your body. Now, if you're doing this in real time, this is also day 6 of our Limitless challenge. So this is our recovery workout, guys. The only equipment you need is a mat if you're on a hard surface, and then I also recommend a pair of yoga blocks so that some of the poses are a little more manageable for you. All right, let's go get started. All right, if you like to track your exercise, turn your watch on. For reference, I have an Apple Watch and I'm using the yoga setting. We're going to come to the top of our mat. I'll face you though while we're at this point. I want you to come to your top of your mat though, feet hip width apart, and ground your toe mound outside of the foot and heel into your mat. So what we want to avoid doing is allowing the instep to collapse in like so. That's exaggerated. But there's activation in the muscles of your feet in addition to your hips and your quads to have those heels or there's those insteps, to pick up. Stand here, nice and tall, shoulders back and down, ears over those shoulders. Let's take a few deep breaths, taking an inhale through the nose, filling into the lower lobes of the lungs. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more times. Inhale. Release. Now on the inhale, sweep the arms up, soften the knees. On our exhale, fold forward, fingertips to ground. If you have osteoporosis, build your ground up so you can maintain a nice neutral spine. Inhale, slide the hands halfway up. Exhale, step back. Right leg back, knee to ground. Arms lift up, shoulders away from the ears. Feeling the stretch in the hip. Bring the hands down and let's reach one arm up and the other arm up. Waking up side body. One more each side. Hands to ground. Slide the back knee further behind you. You're quite open in your stance, dropping that right hip to ground, left hand inside knee. Look over that left shoulder and breathe. To center, straighten that front leg. Let the heel wiggle forward. Fingertips to mat or build your ground up with your yoga blocks. Feeling that stretch into the back of your thigh now. Bend that front knee. Hands beside that foot once again. Tuck your back toe under and drive up into downward dog. Placing the feet hip width apart. Bring the elbows so they're pointed more towards the mat as opposed to each side of your wall there. You're doing your best to have the heels come to the ground. It most likely won't happen. Mine aren't anywhere near either. Your knees are soft. Gaze is in between the feet. Ears are beside the biceps. And now let's pedal the heel so we can get a little deeper into each leg, each ankle, each calf individually. Two more. Heel still. Now come up as high off of the toes as you can and come back down. Do it again, warming up the fascia of your feet. 2 more times. Last one. Gaze at the top of your mat. Step, walk, or jump your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, neutral spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands halfway. Exhale down, left leg back now. Drive the arms up. Opening up that left hip flexor now. Bring the arms down. I'll reach up and over, adding a little bit of a side bend. Two more. Hands to ground. Let's wiggle this back knee even further behind us. Come on the outside edge of that front foot, press into the knee, look over the right shoulder. And as we do so, we're going to allow that left hip to drop closer towards our floor. Two more breaths. Back to center. Straighten this front leg. Wiggle the heel forward so we can extend that leg. Again, build the ground up. It's actually a lot more yummy that way. Chest over thigh, lengthening into the hamstring on this right side. And knees under hips. Let's tuck the back toes under. And then if you can, I want you to even tuck your pinky. So everything tucks under. I do this every morning. And it's just stretching that fascia of the feet. We're all going to hold it here for about 15 seconds. I know it's really uncomfortable. But if you've ever had plantar fasciitis, you know that you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. So this is going to help us as a preventative, as well as those to help heal with fasciitis. And release. Woo! Let's get the wrists under shoulders, knees apart underneath the hips for me. Left hand behind the ear, elbow to the inside of the other side, and rotate up. Last one. Right hand behind the ear, bring the elbow to the inside elbow, look up, rotate up. Last one. Walk the hands forward, but let's keep the hips over, the hips over the knees. Drop the chest down, forehead to the mat for puppy pose. So this is working more into the T-spine, your thoracic spine, as opposed to when we sit back in what they call child's pose, which really gets the low back and glutes. So let the chest really drop down. 2 more breaths. And come into cobra. Or Sphinx, pardon me. Legs are long. Drop the belly, look up and hold. Lower down. Rest here. We're going to do that one more time. If you want to take it a bit deeper, hands under the shoulders and press up into cobra. We stay on the forearms. Lift the hips up, bring the knees apart, big toes together, and now wide leg child's pose. Sitting right back onto our heels, forehead to ground, arms extended in front of us. Into a kneeling position or seated if that bothers the knees. Interlace the hands, bring the elbows back, open the chest, open the elbows. Feel the stretch through the front of the body. Release this arm, take the other arm up, reach up and over, side body. See if you can really open the chest up too, so you're not pointed down to your ground, you're looking up to your ceiling. And I'm pushing my hips away as well to really try to get that most of that as I can out of that side hip. Other side, reach up and over, open up the chest, gaze to the ceiling. Back to center, coming onto the back, using that yoga block. You've got 3 different levels, so this would be easy, intermediate, and challenging for the stretch. Come into bridge, slide the block right under the tailbone, so just below the waist. You want it on that sacrum. And extend your left leg only. And if you want a bit more from this position, bring the right knee up and in. Back of the neck is long. Feeling a really beautiful opening on that left front of the body. Right foot to ground, left foot to ground now, and extend the right leg now. See how this feels before you move into it. If you want the knee to chest, this might be enough for you right here. But you can do knee to chest if you like. Trying to have that right leg just drop into your ground. Both feet to ground, press the hips up, remove that yoga block. Bring the knees to your left side, yoga block in between the knees. Arms extend, hands are stacked. Open up, trying to get the right shoulder to the ground, and then close. Now as we open up, really trying to, as I mentioned, get that right side to your ground. And 3rd time here, and let's hold. Turning the gaze towards the fingertips. Back to center. Lift the hips up and then just let them drop. All right, that helps neutralize your pelvis. Knees to your right, yoga block in between the knees. Hands are stacked, left arm up, over, follow your hand with your gaze. Left arm and shoulder to your mat and then close. 2 more times. Last one. Lift up, over, and hold. And bring the legs up. Just open up the knees into a reclining butterfly. In this position too, you can add your yoga blocks underneath your knees, which can actually feel quite lovely if you're tight in the adductors, and that just builds up your ground. And arms down by your side, knees back up, hip width apart. I want you to lift the belly up so that low back, there's a huge gap between the mat and your low back. And now use the tailbone and roll it so now your low back is pressing into the mat and you're rolling your bum a little bit off the mat. And do it again. So this is like cat and cow, but supine. And when my back is really tight, this is how I will start. I won't go right into cat and cow. Sometimes it doesn't like, backs don't like exaggerated range of motion. You have to coax out little movement and then build from there. Last two. And roll onto one side. Use your arms to press yourself up into a seated position. Nice and tall in the spine, ears over shoulders, big smile on your face. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope your body feels better after this, and I look forward to reading your comments below. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next workout. Bye. The only equipment that you need is a mat if you're on a hard surface, and then I also do recommend a couple of pairs. You just need one pair. Just one pair. Damn it.